All right, let's talk about a bit of footy because there's been some news around this week. It's probably been the hottest topic of the week. Dylan Brown. Now, Joey, you haven't actually spoken about this at all. So he's told his Parramatta teammates he's leaving off to Newcastle. 10 years, $13 million. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
I nearly fell over when the initial contract was put up there. But the more I thought of it, is there's no halfbacks around. So I understand, is he worth that money? No, not as a 5'8", but they've bought him as a halfback. And they've gone chips all in. This is a huge gamble because he's untried at number 7. I've actually worked with Dylan for a couple of years. He's got all the tools to be a halfback. Really good running game. We can see that he's a great athlete, strong and powerful and quick. His passing game's good. His short kicking game. I haven't seen much long kicking game. You see his pass selection. So he's got the tools, but whether he can be that number 7 and take the lead role, because moving forward it looks like it's going to be Dylan at halfback, Fletcher Sharp at 5'8", Kalen at fullback, which is exciting if they get it right. But he's untried in that position. We know he's a great 5'8", but he predominantly stays on that left side. He's going to be the main man. He's going to have to be the halfback who pretty much organises, does a lot of the kicking, because Fletcher Sharp, I haven't seen Fletcher kick too much.
No. But Kalen's got a good kick.
He has too.
He should kick more. I don't know why fullbacks don't kick more. Reece Walsh is the same.
You know why? Because they take the last hit up.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you change that? Why wouldn't you have someone else do the last hit up, have them kick the ball, and then not chase? I don't understand that. Like, some of our great fullbacks have that in their game. Especially Reece Walsh does. Great. He has a great strike. So does Kalen.
Got to be patient. It may take time.
How are you going to be patient? He's just
hopefully
signed,
not 10 years.
He's just signed $13 million. There'll be no patience.
But I will say, I think he'll nail it. I think eventually he'll nail it. And that's from round 1 to 26. The big test is going to come in the big games. When you're on that money, it becomes pressure, but you've got to nail the big games. Now, to beat the big 4 teams in the comp at the moment, Penrith, Brisbane, the Storm and maybe Manly. We'll go through them. Penrith in big games, Isaiah and Nathan stand up. They get it done.
Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, Dylan Edwards, but to a lesser extent, the guys on the front line. Then you've got Hunt and Reynolds. They get it done for Brisbane. They've won comps and Origins, played for Australia. Melbourne, Munster, Jerome Hughes, and then
Harry Green.
For Manly, Harry Green, but I'm more talking halves. And then you go Manly, you go DCE. Can he be that player that comes to the semis that goes, my game goes here, and he drags everyone around him, he makes the players around him play better, and he delivers on the big stage. That's the test. And if you're getting paid that money, that is the responsibility, and it's also the pressure that comes with it.
And that's the thing, these huge deals, especially the money, the length of the deal as well. But also, you know this better than anyone though. Like Newcastle is very different to playing Parramatta. Yes, granted, Parramatta is a big club, but
he's about to jump into the fishbowl.
What's it like?
It can be exhausting. And look, most of it, pretty much all of it, is positive. But he goes to Coles, and by the time he finishes shopping, he might have been talking to 10, 15 different people who ask the same question. Playing the Broncos this week, you win. And it's all good, but it can be exhausting. All eyes are going to be on him everywhere he goes. So he's got the pressure of the big money, and then he's going to be in that fishbowl. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But he probably has the personality. He's very laid back, Dylan. But that's got to go.
That's definitely going to have to change.
Once he gets there on the training paddock day 1 and then on the field, you've got to be barking at him.
But he can learn from Kalen. Like, I think when Kalen came down, he was very relaxed, and he could see also that he had to change, and he had to up the ante on. I'm not sure what he's like in training, but you can see in a game he's much more involved. He's much more vocal. He can change. I think it's interesting that there's only a couple of players that have had 10-year contracts. One was Jason Taumalolo. Peter Parr was part of that. And, you've got to say, I suppose the first 7 or 8 years it was a great success.
They got their value out of it.
They got a lot of good value. Like his last couple of years has been a bit different. The other one's Tino.
And Daly.
Tino Fasumalala. He walked away, didn't he, Daly, from the 10-year one at the Gold Coast?
No, but he came back and signed at Manly.
But his value. Well, Daly's been fantastic.
But see, this is the thing, that there's no other there's no real elite halfbacks. So I totally get it. That is the market value to get an elite halfback. Hopefully he gets there. In 5 years' time, we might think this is the best deal ever, and they got a bargain. He's at that age. He's going to be 25 next year, so it's the sweet spot for a halfback between 25 and 35. So that's a big advantage. It's just it's going to take a lot of coaching, and it's going to take maybe tweaking the attack that suits his style.
Well, I like the fact, I don't think anyone gives enough credibility to Phoenix Cross, and I don't think they've tapped into him enough. He's an actual halfback who's playing at hooker. I know they've just moved on Jaden Brayley, so obviously they've got a second player, young Matt Arthur.
Yeah.
But the game's changing to the point where if you can't attack out a dummy half, if you can't hold the defence, you just can't get an advantage. And I think they haven't tapped into Phoenix Cross, and if you tap into him more, then all of a sudden you might be able to play with two more people that are aligned to being 5'8s, and then you've got Kalen who assists with kicking. So they're going to have to change, without a doubt. They're going to have to change the way they play, maybe the way the game's played.
Yeah,
and,
that's the key.
And work with Phoenix more. But
the attack now, we talk about game management. Nowadays, it's not so important because they fall into their structures and they do so much work on the field, repetition, their attack, they fall into their structure and you hear it, systems and shapes. So everyone knows their job, so that's really not an issue. The issue for Dylan is going to be his voice, driving it, controlling the speed of the game, his long kicking game, and just staying in the game.
The long kicking game's the one.
Oh,
you look at Canterbury, Matt Burton just sits there and just drives teams mad. You look at Parramatta with Mitchell Moses and how different they are without him. You look at Nathan. You got blokes who pretty much have a kick in their bag which goes 50 metres, can go a certain height, and they do it every single time. Newcastle need to find one of them.
And also the halves. We've got ageing playmakers. We've got half a dozen guys who are coming to the end who are over 35. DCU 36, Cody, all these players. Reynolds, Hunt, Townsend to a lesser extent.
So do we need to be starting to bring new ones through in terms of the junior?
Well,
is that got to be one of the focus now for the game?
There's some old heads. Look at them. They're all coming to the end. Well, the top six
Munster's
are.
30, yeah.
Munster's 30, Jerome's 30. That's why a player like Jonah Pezzett, who is untried, who shows great potential, he got offered $800,000 from Newcastle. So this 1.3, that is the market for an elite halfback. And the Knights have just gone, all chips in, we're going to develop Dylan to be that player. So,
we do have a shot of Dylan when he.
This is when it works.
This is.
That's when it works.
So what's your advice to Dylan before he gets up to Newcastle?
well, look at that. He needs to go to Jenny Craig. That's skinny fat. What about, there's not one muscle on there. Look at the punctured lung.
You've just drank 40 schooners.
I actually can't remember that.
The punctured lung that
well,
gets
I was going
me.
to say believe it or not, but you can believe it. Yeah, what an idiot.
But good on him. Good on him.
Yeah, good on him. Half his luck.